I'm Hemant Chandran, and I'm from the University of Strathclyde. That's a business school there, picture. Don't get thrown off by the sunlight that Glasgow has. It's pretty similar to Nantes. Rainy, windy, and cold. Uh, my experience has been slightly different from Bridget's. It's been completely different in the sense that I started my journey rather, last year in the conference in South Africa. And then I went back to the business school and then started writing a few blogs for the business school, admission blogs. So that's where your MBA seekers come and then check out as to how the course is and so on. I then moved on to writing for The Independent. I wrote a couple of articles. One was on corporate entrepreneurship, and the second one was on scenario planning. Certain things that are very close to my heart during the MBA. I then networked with a couple of professors in the school, and then I got them to do a couple of webinars. One was on innovation, the other one was on project management. And then we got featured in The Independent, where a person from The Independent called us and interviewed us. So, and finally, we did an MBA Link event very recently, last year in September, where we had the topic of emotional intelligence. A few speakers came there, and then we had a very good crowd there from the University of Glasgow as well. So I'll just move on to a few challenges that generally people face in this role. And the first challenge would be devoting enough time and effort. I'd like to speak about 2 minutes about this because this role is not something that you actually are being pride upon as to what you're doing. You are not accountable as such to anyone. You are accountable to your school as well as AMBA, but how much time do you devote for this? That's something that you have to take a call on. They're looking at your work and other commitments that you have. Managing expectations, this will be tough in one sense. You have expectations from AMBA, and you have expectations from the business school as well. Trying to manage those is difficult. You have to set the right expectations from the school, not given too much, not given too less, because remember the school also wants some takeaway out of this. Communicating with people from different time zones, I'm sure everybody faces that on a day-to-day basis. It's nothing new. And you always expect a delay in response. You don't get flustered when you don't get an email for 2-3 days. And finally, sourcing speakers for events and webinars. That's something that is really tough because you find people that are really not keen to come and speak on events. Not everyone knows AMBA and so on. So you find it difficult to convince people to come and speak for events as well as on webinars. So a few things that you can do to counter that are basically do something exciting for people to come in. Maybe in an event, for example, you take up an exciting subject, a hot topic, so that people do actually come in and then listen to it, and then they talk to their friends about AMBA and so on. Again, writing an article, that's great too. Play to your strengths. Not everyone is good at, let's say, organizing an event. Not everyone is good at writing. Not everyone is good at speaking. So, play to your strength. Do whatever best you can. There's no pressure. Communicate at all times. Now, since I said managing expectations from the school as well as AMBA, you need to communicate with your school as well as AMBA. Keep them in touch. Keep them in loop because, Stephanie is speaking to so many people all the time. So, same with the business school. So you need to keep on your toes all the time. And finally, network, because finding speakers is extremely tough for events and webinars. So if you network, you'll find at least someone who can come to your event or do a webinar for you. What I see for AMBA in the future is a big family of MBAs. We meet once in a year, right? It's pretty much similar to some families that I know of. And basically engage through your continuous professional development, your webinars basically. All our webinars are CPD certified. And knowledge sharing basically. And participate in virtual and physical events, basically your webinars and your MBA Link events, all right? And promoting for the pre-MBA market. You are ambassadors not only for your school but also for AMBA. So you need to advocate your school and AMBA accredited courses basically, so that pre-MBA seekers actually make the right choice. That's me. Thank you very much.